Hi there. It looks like we had a little bit of internet issues. We are staying at a hotel in Chicago. I apologize about that. I'll give you a quick brief run through of what we've done. That's a new word. um, we used a blue, and we did a base coat. We not very specific on the color. This one is an aqua. You can use a teal, pretty much any blue that you have on hand. Just to do a base coat, we did 2 layers on this one, just to kind of cover any blemishes that may be on here. And then we used a gray. Any basic gray will work. And then we just kind of, any kind of basic gray will work. Just kind of go across. And then we use a lighter blue. This one is Blue Cloud. But really any blue will work. If you don't have more than one blue, as I mentioned earlier, you can always use a little bit of white to tone down the brightness and make it a little less light. And then we did around the outside edges. And then I came down and I did a swirl. And then I kind of did little outside broken ones just to kind of give a little bit of imperfections. That way it looks a little more realistic. Tricia did one as well. As you see, they're a little bit different. That's okay. They don't have to be perfect. Mine's not perfect. I did a little bit wider down here, a little bit shorter up here. As I mentioned before, I actually choose to be a little imperfect sometimes because it does help it make it look a little more realistic. So now that we have the outside of the highlights for the jar, what I'm going to do is we're going to mix up for the top a little bit darker gray. We're going to use the same gray that we used earlier, and I'm going to show you how to mix it to make it a little bit darker for those highlights, just for those that don't have more than one color. So this is the gray that we used earlier. It just says gray. It's a basic gray.
If you guys are watching, will you let us know you're watching and just say hi and tell us where you're watching from? Also, Timothy Ackworth, if you're watching, will you just comment? I don't have my phone. You probably have been texting me. Will you just comment and let us know that the connection is okay and that you can see us and hear us and all that stuff, please? I think I just got pink.
Okay, so I put a little bit of gray. We don't need a whole lot since we're just doing accent. I put a little bit more on there since there's 2 of us. And then I'm just going to put a drop to start with. Just 1 drop. If it'll come off.
Maybe.
Okay. We'll get it eventually. There we go. Alright, so I did a little bit of drop, and then I'm just going to mix that in. Tricia can do it. I'm going to use the same brush that I used for the blue outlines. We did just rinse it off in a little bit of water. I do tend to like to use the same brush for everything, that even if it's a different color, so that way it's all the same texture, the same thickness. So it's just a thin brush. As you can see, my hands get really dirty when I paint. I don't mind. Usually the acrylic comes off really easy. Soap and water, warm water. But this one is a thinner brush. It's not very stiff just because it's for details, basic details. As I mentioned earlier, when we do letters, I do like a little bit stiffer brush. As you can see, it's not quite as flimsy. That just allows for a little more steady details.
So, I don't know what you can see, but you can see that there's the gray that we used on the top of the jar, and that's the gray that we just mixed. So it's not, I mean, they're not like super completely different darker colors. They're just like a couple shades darker, just so that it's a little bit different.
Yeah, sometimes I don't like to go too different just because in reality, they're not going to be 2 different shades for the threads on the jar. You're just going to see a little bit of highlights. That's really all we're aiming for, just enough to see that it's 2-dimensional and it's not just one flat color. Same with this. We're not going to be super perfect about it, just because we don't want it to look fake. So I'm just going to start off. I mentioned earlier you don't have to be super particular about this line, so I'm just going to kind of go over it with my darker gray. One light line, and then I'm going to kind of swirl around, and then I'm going to do the grooves. So I'm going to highlight the outside. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle. There can be broken pieces in there, as long as it doesn't look like you've run out of paint. So if you do start to make your line and you notice that it does, the paint's starting to run out, just grab a little bit more paint on the tip, and then you can just go across it again. I wouldn't suggest grabbing a whole glob, because then your line's going to be pretty thick. If you are joining us, say hi. We want to know you're there. Let us know if you have any questions.
Because it says there's a few of you watching, but the only one that we can see is Timothy Ackworth, which is my husband, if you don't know. And that's just because we're on my Facebook page and we can see my friends when they join. So if you are watching, let us know. We want to know.
Okay. So as you can see, I'm not sure if you can tell. I keep forgetting where the camera is. So you might not be able to see it completely, but there is a darker line. It'll come a little more into focus once we start getting the middles in there. It is an edge, so it is a little bit harder to see, but we do kind of want to define this light gray, and then the blue, we kind of want to separate it. So that's why I did the line through there. So I'm going to do like an imperfect circle. So I'm probably going to stop somewhere around here, and then I'm going to start over here and go back this way. So it's kind of just like a imperfect highlight, and then we'll go and we'll start doing the threads on the jar. I don't worry about making these perfect. They can be different thicknesses. That's kind of why I like using a little bit looser brush, not as stiff, just so that way you have a little bit of variance in the thickness when you do the highlights. For those of you who are just joining us, we're doing a Valentine's door hanger with conversation hearts. We've done the accents for this. We're going to do conversation hearts in here, and then we're also going to write Happy Valentine's in here. Right now we're just working on making the threads a little more realistic, and then we're going to move on to the conversation hearts.
And if you are just joining us, say hi, so we know you're here, so we know who's watching.
We did have a few people purchase these, so I know a few of them weren't able to join us live, so they're actually going to go back and watch this when they have a little bit more time, and they're going to follow our steps, and they're going to paint this. I know a few people purchased it to paint with their friends. What we do is we actually send out a kit, so you get the blank door hanger and the wire, and then you join us for our live or watch it later, and we show you how to paint it. They are right now on sale for $15 each. We have a St. Patrick's Day one that's right now for sale the month of January. If you do purchase a door hanger for St. Patrick's Day, there's also a pot of gold yardstick. You can choose either one or both for $25. You are entered into a private drawing just for the people who purchased in January to receive a free March painting. That one in March will either be an Easter egg, I think we've decided, for the hanger, or it will be a umbrella stake.
And if you are watching right now, if you would do us a favor and just share the video, we'd really appreciate that. If you haven't liked our page, you should definitely go do that. But if you don't know and you do like our page, for the month of January, our goal is to get 1,000 likes. And we checked it before we went live, which I don't have my phone. But we did check it before we went live, and we had 851 likes. And that is amazing because today is only January 11th. And there's still 20 more days left in January to get 149 more likes. And that is just insane to us, guys. You'll never know how much we appreciate all the love and just support that we've gotten in the last couple of months. So we want to say thank you. And out of those 1,000 people, we're going to be giving away one virtual paint party for you and 9 of your friends. It'll be a totally private party. We'll send you the door hangers, and
I think what we're also going to do, we're going to send you a few bottles of each color of paint for that hanger, just so that way you're fully prepared. We're going to include a few brushes in there as well, just so that way you and your friends are completely set up. All you have to do is gather them and say, hey, let's paint, and join us.
Yeah.
So we'll show you.
Yeah. And it's just going to be a lot of fun. And we just say thank you. 1,000 likes is huge for us. Since we started in, I think, September we started. And so hitting 1,000 likes in January, I mean, before even the end of January, we're going to hit 1,000 likes probably next week. And so we're just super, super excited. We are so thankful, and we just want to give it away. We want to give it back to you guys. So,
okay, just kind of summarize what I'm doing is I'm just doing the accent lines. This one's a little broken that way. That's why it looks a little faded. So I'm going to go back over it with another thin layer, just to kind of emphasize the threads on the top of the jar. And then, hi Shirley, thanks for joining us. And then what we're also going to do is we're going to do conversation hearts down here. It's going to be fun. I haven't decided if we're going to write words on them. The picture we posted didn't have words.
yes,
but it did it?
Yeah, it said like Valentine wishes or something.
It had words up here.
Yeah. Oh, you mean on the conversation hearts?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if the conversation hearts we're going to write words on them. I think it'd be kind of fun to do it and be cute. You don't have to do it. The picture that we posted was just plain hearts, which is still really cute. And then up here we're going to write Valentine's wishes. You could also write Happy Valentine's, pretty much anything you want.
Your name, your last name.
You could welcome. You can pretty much write anything up here. We want to make sure we leave a lot of space up here. We're just going to do a small patch of hearts down here, just kind of.
Which is one of the nice things about painting live and painting your own door hanger. Is that if you're painting live with us, yes, we show you what to do to make it look like the picture that you saw online, but you can change colors, you can change words, you can change, Yeah,
you can completely make it your own. You don't have to rely on us to kind of understand what your concept is. You just apply it. But we're here. If you have questions, you can ask us what you think. If you are joining us.
Hi, Lynn. Thank you.
Hi.
Thanks for coming.
But yes, so we can completely make this your own. I have a few that have my last name on them just because I think they're cute. So again, we're just emphasizing the threads, and then we're going to go to the conversation hearts in just a moment. If you're joining us, make sure you say hi, Alexandria.
So we do have a few people watching, and we just want to know, besides my nose is really itchy, sorry. We just want to know if you're watching. So if you're watching and you're listening to us talk and paint, will you just let us know you're here, and we'll say hi. And yeah, we just want to know that you're here. It's nice to have people to talk to. So you can see mine, and you can see the threads on mine. I kind of did not like hers, so
it doesn't have to be perfect as long as they kind of look like threads. I like to do diagonally. I know a lot of people like to do them across. Hers are actually really cute. Pretty much anything as long as she thinks it looks like threads. I keep forgetting where the camera is. I'm going to do another small patch right here, and then I'm going to call it quits for that. Later on, when I start doing the white highlights, which you'll see when I get the letters on and then the colors on, I like to do all of the black and white highlights at the very end, so that way everything's kind of dry, and then I can bring it all together with those black and white highlights. So we'll do a little bit of a little bit of white highlights at the top when we're all done. So I think we're pretty much ready to start the conversation, hearts. If you're joining us, say hi.
And if you guys don't know, if you haven't been watching, because we've been live for about 15 minutes right now, and then we were live earlier on our other video. So, but if you are watching and you don't know, we're not normally together. She lives in Florida and I live in Indiana. And if you don't like our page, you didn't know that. But she flew in. She got here yesterday, right? Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
And I got here today, and we're just kind of having a girls' weekend away from our husbands and children. So
yeah. So it's been quite peaceful. I actually got to go sit at Starbucks this morning. If you know me, you know that I do like to occasionally go to Starbucks, but I probably only go about once or twice a year. But I went this morning and I took my book and I sat there for a good while and I read. It was actually really relaxing.
She said she sat there for 2 hours and read a book.
It was really relaxing. I lost track of time. I don't usually read when I'm at home just because I'm busy with the children and work, and I just keep myself busy watching TV.
My children are almost 12, 6, and my daughter just turned 4. I don't think I've read a book in maybe 12 years. So maybe since I graduated school.
No, I have plenty of books on my shelf at home that I've bought.
Oh, I have tons of books too that I've bought. I've just never read.
I have read most of my books. I am proud to say that, but there are quite a few that I just keep neglecting to read, and it makes me sad. And I brought one with me. It's actually The Book Thief. If you don't know, it's kind of about the Holocaust. It's a good book. It starts off a little slow, but I'm actually really enjoying it. So I'm just using, we're going to start with pink hearts because, of course, Valentine's Day, you need pink. This one, it just says light pink. If you don't have a light pink or you don't have pink, you can use red.
Or there's even I just do pink. I have a bunch of different pinks. I mean, it doesn't have to be, obviously.
Yeah, you don't even have to use pink. You can use other colors if you're not a pink person.
I mean, there's all kinds of pinks, all kinds of different colors. So
if you were wanting to mix your paint, if you don't have pink, I'm sure many of you already know this, but you can use just red and white and mix it until you get the right tone that you'd like, and you can just start painting. So I'm just going to do hearts. They don't have to be perfect hearts. They're just conversation hearts. I'm going to start off in this corner.
She says mix red and white, and she's like, everybody probably knows that. I was painting one time, and did I tell you this? I think I did.
I think you did, yeah.
I was painting one time, and I think I was trying to make green. I'm pretty sure it was green. And I mixed red and yellow together, and I was seriously thought I was going to make green. I squirted red, I squirted some yellow, I started mixing them. Not even gonna lie, I was super disappointed when it did not turn out green. And then I had to Google it because my brain just would not work. And,
Well, in all fairness, you do know that it doesn't make green, but
I know what colors make what, but my brain just quit working that day, I swear. So Google everything. That's what I say.
If you are joining us for your paint party hanger and you can't quite finish it, don't worry. You don't have to stick with us all night. We're going to be here quite a while. You can actually just come back. The video will be posted, and then you can follow along on your own time. Upside down, but I'm just doing a heart. It is a light pink, so I'm probably going to do 2 coats on it just so where the blue doesn't come through. So right now, the grains of the wood's kind of coming through a little bit. And wood is probably my best medium to paint on. I do kind of like canvas too, but I do actually really like to paint on wood just because you kind of get those grains in there, and it makes it just look really pretty.
So if you're watching, will you say hello and let us know you're watching? We'd love to know. And maybe you could tell us where you're watching from. I know we have kind of people from all over, so.
Yeah, we're working on getting likes and followers from all states. It's kind of neat on our Facebook. You can kind of see where people are from. It doesn't tell you exactly who's from where, but it does tell you how many people are from each state. And it's kind of neat because most of our people are in Indiana, which makes sense because we're both from Indiana. But there's surprisingly people in California and Texas and Rhode Island. And it's just amazing how far we've reached in such a short amount of time. We came from just a few of our closest friends that were interested, and now we have over 800 people that like watch us, and it's just a lot of fun.
Mostly like our family. When we started out, it's
pretty small. I think we started off when we were stuck at like 40 something for a while, and then we grew to 100, and we were super excited. So you have no idea how exciting it is to have 856 people currently, and we do expect to hit 1,000. Honestly, probably by the end of next week.
Mm-hmm.
It would be fantastic if it could come sooner. But once we do hit that 1,000, I know we're repeating ourselves, but you will see us give away 10 hangers, one for yourself and one for 9 guests to one lucky winner that liked our page on Facebook. So you don't have to purchase; you just have to like us. Share a page if you feel like it. We love the support. You have no idea how much every like and every share counts.
We were stuck at, I think it was like 93 or 94.
It was 99 for a long time.
Yeah, we were like in the 90s for like a couple of months, and I mean every time it would click. Every time we get a new like and we come closer to 100 and closer to 100. I mean, we were both of us were super excited. I mean, then we finally hit 100 and we were just ecstatic. And I mean, now we have 856. It's on your phone right there. And 856. And I mean, we can't even believe it, guys. It's crazy.
No, we still get really excited about it. I know that there are people out there that have thousands and thousands people, and I ask myself, do they really get excited each time they hit like a small increment, or is it just like likes now? I guarantee you we're not one of those people. We message each other each day. We have this many, so we get really excited about that. So just know that every like and share, it really does matter. It counts. We appreciate every single one of you guys.
If you would see our messages back and forth to each other, there's quite a few. I mean, sometimes a few times a day where it's like we've got a lot of new followers or likes or whatever, and I message her and I'm just like, we have this many likes right now, and they're just random numbers. Like, we'll just text each other like 776, and we both know what we're talking about because we watch it like close all the time. So
all right, so here's some of the conversation hearts that I've done. So this one's a light pink over here. I might go back with a little bit darker just to highlight it. Probably I might do white. I'm not sure yet. And then a purple one. I'm going to do like a couple mixed colors. I'm not going to fill up the whole thing just because I want to leave space for words. I think I'm going to write Valentine wishes up here because that's what the picture was, and we want to make sure that people purchased are able to paint it exactly like the picture if they choose to. But you don't have to. Are you going to write Valentine's wishes?
I don't think so.
All right, so she'll probably do something different so you can see. This is kind of why we like to do the first one together, just so that way you guys can see that no two are going to be exactly alike.
I mean, because look at ours right now. They don't even look alike. And we've been painting with each other. Like, I use a different pink, and it's bigger, and our tops are different. I mean, so...
Yeah, I mean, as long as you get the basic features on here, you're good to go. Really, it's a blank canvas, personalized. When you go to like painting with a twist, they all look different. You're looking at the same thing. They all look different, but they all look great.
I mean, they're in the end. I would, if you're gonna use a different color, do not use that pink. It is so thick. But no, what I was going to say is I think I was just going to say they all look different, but I mean, you're going to hang this on your door or wherever in your house, And people are going to ask you who made that, and you're going to say you did. So it's pretty cool just be able to paint something yourself. I mean, we'd love it if you say, hey, you can come to our page and buy your own and make your own. So, I mean, if you do that, that would be awesome too.
Yeah, if you're not feeling very crafty when you're joining us, these are able to be purchased and shipped out to you. It's $15.
And you can still purchase. We're not selling the blank one anymore because obviously we're painting it right now, and it wouldn't work out.
It wouldn't get there in time for Valentine's Day,
right?
Or it would get there shortly before, but it wouldn't really be enough time for you to hang it. But we do have St. Patrick's Day coming up. We have a leprechaun hat. It's actually really cute. If you go to our site, the link's right there. Even if you're not interested, go ahead, check it out. It's really cute. And then we also introduced this month a yardstick. It is a pot of gold with a rainbow, and it's super cute.
That one's really cute too.
It was really easy to do. It's something different because I don't really see a whole lot of yardsticks out there for you to paint yourself.
And it's going to be the same size as a door hanger, so I don't, it'll be just like this, but it'll be on a stake, and you can stick it in the ground. And I've been saying, my thing is backwards. The backwards messes me up. But I've been saying that your front door will literally be the cutest one on the block, because if you purchase both of them, you get both of them for, I think, $25.
Yeah.
So you save $5, but you get a door hanger, and you get the yardstick, and your front porch is going to look so cute. So
all right, I'm going to go to a green. This one is an apple tart. You don't have to get an apple tart. You can get any color you want. Just a green, lime green. I chose a bright one just because I like bright colors. But really, you can choose any color you want.
There's a whole bunch of different greens. This one, a mint green, all kinds of greens.
And then if you do have a green and it's not exactly the color, you can mix the color that you want. You could actually make this one darker so it would cover up a little bit more. I'm not sure if you're aware, a lot of paints, the thinner ones, the thinner paints don't cover quite as well. So sometimes if I see that it's really thin, before I do a second coat, I'll put a little bit of a light white in it, and then I'll put a little bit of the darker color just to kind of match that tone, but put white in it. The white actually helps it cover.
And especially on this blue, your blue background, it might make it just a little bit harder to cover. You might have to do a couple of coats just because it is going to be a darker color than the pastels that you're using for your conversation height. So
yeah, you could even go with a lighter blue. It doesn't have to be this color. If you do choose to go with a light blue, I don't think I mentioned it earlier, you can reverse the highlights. So this could be a really light pale blue, like this color, and then you could do like a little bit darker for the highlights. As long as they're contrasting, it does not have to be the same.
Yeah, you really want that contrast, that, the difference, so that way you can really see the different,
Yeah, the same with the top. If you choose to do a dark gray, just make sure you're using a lighter gray to kind of bring out those highlights. Alright, so I have 3 hearts on there. If you're looking at it, you probably can't tell from the video. They're not exactly the same size. That's okay. They're around the same size, so I'm not too worried about it. Let's see what other colors do I want to do. I think I'll probably go to yellow. If you're joining us, make sure you're saying hi. Let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you.
feel like we need music since we're painting, but Facebook does not allow music, so that's normally what I would do.
Yes, normally I usually have my headphones in and I'm ignoring everybody and I'm painting.
Mm-hmm. Me too. That's how I work on wreaths. So.
Yeah, so I do like to paint. I paint normally on my own before we did this. I like to do canvas. And then like when I was done, I didn't necessarily keep it, I just like to do it. So I'd paint over them and do it again.
The great thing about painting these yourself, or buying one from us that's already painted, is that you can use them every year. Especially this one that's going to be double-sided.
You're going to get 2 seasons out of it.
Yeah.
Which is actually really nice. It's not bulky. It's pretty thin. So if you decided to purchase more than one from us, you could honestly I would put like a small sheet of paper in between them and you can stack them up together. And they pretty much fit anywhere. I mean, they're pretty slim. So that's really nice.
So I heard somebody say that the reason they like door hangers is because I know that on my front door we have a screen door, and a wreath most of the time won't fit in between the screen door and the regular door because it's kind of like narrow in between there. So door hangers are really great for that because they're flat and they're not going to get smashed down with.
And if you're concerned about how you get it on your door, I know a lot of people don't want to put holes in their doors and things like that. The command strips are amazing. That's what I have from mine. I just use a general size command strip, and then they have also just the sticky sides that you can kind of fit it one side on the hook, so the wind doesn't catch it, and then the top just to hold it up.
I have a command hook on mine, but my command hook is on the other side of my door, that makes sense. It's on the back side of my door, and then I just use ribbon, like a white ribbon or whatever color matches whatever I have on my door, and then I just tie the ribbon to the top of my door hanger because there'll be a wire here, and then I just make the ribbon really long, and I run it right up to the front of my door and over the back of it, and then I tie it onto the command hook I turn upside down, and then you don't have to have the hook on the front of your door to look. So it makes it, I don't know.
It does make it a little bit neater.
Yeah.
That idea is really great too.
Yeah.
I choose to do the one with that, but just because I don't really have a screen door to protect it from the wind. I know that some people don't. So I do it on the outside just to kind of make it a little more secure. The last thing you want to hear is that knocking on your door and nobody's there, especially if you have dogs and children like mine. They get really excited when somebody knocks at the door.
Yes. Also Velcro. I have Velcro on my door hanger that's on there right now because I think, or you were over there, weren't you, when I got that hanger? And they kept complaining because I put this hanger, it's got an A on it and it's blue and it matches my living room. And everybody kept complaining because my hanger would knock on our door. And it was the most annoying thing, they said. So Chelsea actually bought me Velcro, sticky Velcro. So half of it is on the door, and the other half is on my hanger, and that way it doesn't move. So
yeah, that's actually a really great idea for the single-sided. It wouldn't necessarily work for this one because if you choose to do both sides, it's not going to work as well because you don't want Velcro on it. But whatever you choose to do, I'm sure it will look great. Make sure you send us pictures for those of you who are painting on your own. We definitely want to see how it turned out. We're really excited. So I think I have enough parts here. I'm not going to do too many because I don't want to overwhelm it. But we just kind of want it to look, hey, these are conversation parts. So I did 5. They're not too big. They're spaced out. And then I'm going to write Valentine's wishes across here, going this way. So I'm probably going to bring it down a little bit. Instead of Valentine's Day, I'll probably do Valentine wishes. Hopefully get a little better. You see, Tricia's hearts don't look exactly like mine, and that's perfect. No two are going to look alike. Great.
Mine are actually a little bigger and different colors. So if you're looking at them and they're like, what do they do? Yeah. So I know it seems like we're repeating information, and if you watch this whole video, we appreciate it, obviously. But we obviously have to repeat information for people who haven't watched the whole video.
Or just joining us.
Yes.
So we promise, we realize that we're repeating ourselves. We're not doing it. We are doing it intentionally for those who are just joining. One great thing about if you purchase a door hanger and you and your friends want to paint together, we can do a private virtual paint party. So we just join and we invite you and your friends. Or if you decide to put us up on the big screen, you can all paint together. We won't repeat all this information 1,000 times because it will just be you and the people at your paint party. So you can ask questions. It's completely customized to you guys. We'll go at your pace. So if you guys need a little bit longer to do a certain area, we can slow down and do it. Or if you're going a lot faster, the same, we can go faster and talk less.
Yeah. It's complete. The good thing about a private virtual paint party is you get to invite your own friends. So you pick who's in your group, and you pick your time, you pick your date. It's completely up to you. And those. Obviously, there's certain times and dates that we,
Yeah, we'll give you a few options over a course of a week or so, or if you have a date that you have to have it, I'm sure that with enough notice, we can make it work as long as we're aware, and as long as it's not last minute. We're working on getting it to where we can paint together onto like a split screen, so that way we're both on the video together. Obviously, we both live across the country from each other. I live in South Florida. She lives in northern Indiana. So we don't really get a chance to actually be together that often. So we're really excited to be doing our first virtual paint party together.
We'll probably be together in March too.
Yes. The third week of March, we will be doing a spring hanger. We'll probably do the umbrella one that week, just because it's not necessarily Easter related. What we're going to do towards the end of this month is, not towards the very end, probably the third week, we're going to start advertising for the Easter egg, just because Easter's coming really quick. It's about 60 days away. So
April 1st.
So we don't have quite as much time. So we're going to open it up mid this month and then close it mid next month. So that way we can have it shipped out to you guys, and then you can display it for a solid 3 to 4 weeks. That's what we try to aim for. I know that we advertise for holidays really early, but we do that on purpose because I like to decorate a month in advance. So that way I get a full
It gives you more time to put it out on your door and get more use out of it. And we just feel like, it makes it more worth,
Yeah, I would hate, I'm that person, like, if it gets close to a holiday, I'm not really interested in buying holiday decor, just because I'm going to use it for a week, and then I'm going to put it up, and then have to wait a full year to use it again. So I'm the person that will be like, no thanks. So hopefully you guys are like that too, and you appreciate the.
So it might seem like, today's January 11th and we're already getting ready for Valentine's Day, but
and also St. Patrick's Day, so we're selling for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
We realize it's early. We promise. I'm that person that's like, they're already putting Christmas stuff out. But we have a reason for it.
We just want to give you the most bang for your buck, pretty much, and that we feel like that's the easiest way to do it. So the more time you can keep it on your door, the better it is, especially with this one, since it is double-sided. It makes it gives you more.
I promise we're not out there to get rich. We just really enjoy what we do, and we like to share it with you guys. So we really like to put the most value that we can on what we're selling you. So.
And we've been saying before, like, you know, we still get really excited about likes and shares and comments and, you know, just even like just purchases. Like, we get really excited about those things. And
just every bit that we get back from you guys, we get thrilled.
we get
messages on Facebook. Reach out to us, say, hey, how are you guys doing? We'd love to hear from you guys. We really would.
Yeah. So
what I'm going to do is I'm kind of going to map out the wording. I do it probably different than other people do, as I put a little bit of paint on the paintbrush, and I kind of just like wear it out to where I can clearly see what I'm doing. So that way, if I don't like it, I usually have a paint remover. It's an acrylic paint remover. I got mine at Hobby Lobby. It's across from the paint or in that acrylic aisle. It's a clear, like, comes in one of these 2-ounce bottles. It's a clear, it says acrylic paint remover cleaner. I usually put a small squirt in my paintbrush water that I use. And then if I make a mistake, what I really like about acrylic paint is I have a cloth with me that I dip in the water and I just soak that area and I rub it off. And this is one of the main reasons why I let that base coat dry completely. Because if you do that and you make a mistake with something that you're painting on top, base coat's not going to come off. Just that top layer is. And you can start fresh. That's one of the main reasons why I like paint. But that's why I kind of do a lighter coat too, just so that way I don't necessarily have to. So I am going to pull up the picture so that way I can see it, the lettering, just the way that we advertised it, because I do want to make sure the people who purchased it are getting exactly what they paid for. Just a moment. There we go. So if you can see the picture, this one goes straight across. I don't know if you can see.
it makes it really hard.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. It's washed out. The picture's on our Facebook. I'm having trouble talking today. But it has Valentine's wishes. It has a lot more hearts. I don't really feel like I need as many hearts. If you do want that many hearts, definitely go for it. It's completely up to you. So I stopped because I do kind of like the empty air, and it looks a lot neater to me. So I'm going to start with the Valentine's wishes. And Tricia's, she's doing a couple more hearts.
And I told you, didn't I tell you not to use this pink, and then I'm still using it? I don't know. It's awful.
Try a little bit of water or mix in the lighter pink. And that's sometimes what I do. If I notice that sometimes if you have paint and you paint a lot, I have that happen leaving my caps open even if I've walked away. So sometimes they do get a little goopy at the top. That's why I kind of make sure they're mixed. And then also, if they do kind of get goopy, I don't know if you can see it on this one. These are really thin, but this one's kind of, it's a thicker, kind of more like a paste. Sometimes I mix a little bit of the water with it just to kind of soften it up. Not too much, because otherwise on this wood especially, it'll bleed into the grains. So when I do letterings, it's easiest for me. I don't like to spread out the black paint just because you want to make sure you're getting nice clean dips. So I'll put little piles and then I'll keep moving on to new piles. So I don't use a whole lot of paint.
And I'm the exact opposite, which is why that paint is all over that plate right now. And it's really driving her crazy.
No, it's not. It's not. Because when I'm doing the bigger pieces, it doesn't bother me quite as much. But when I'm doing the letter, it's hard to fix. Like, it's easy to fix these. You can make them a little bit bigger and then you can play with it. But the letters, you do want them to be a little more crisp. So I do a small little puddle. It's mounded, and then I just kind of make sure I get a good amount, not too much, because I don't want it to spread out. So I'm going to lightly do it, and then I always want to make sure that the bottom is dry, so that way when I put my arm on it, I'm not pressing it in other places to paint, because then it's a little more dry and it's a little harder to get off.
Yeah, definitely watch your arm when you're painting. I've done that before. You kind of just don't pay attention and drag it.
Yeah, sometimes I do get in a rush, especially if I'm doing a lot of them. And it does happen. That's why I like to use that paintbrush cleaner. I think that's what it's actually called, paintbrush cleaner. That's what it's for. But I mix it in with, I don't use a whole lot because, again, you don't want to ruin the paint that you're working with, because I dip and go back and forth. But just a little bit, it does work wonders. It does clean the brushes really well.
So if you're watching, will you say hi and let us know that you're watching? We'd love to know who's up, who's watching, who's here.
So one thing that's really important when you're doing letters, not so much when you're doing the rest of it, because I do like imperfections and like different thicknesses and the highlights. But letterings, you kind of want to let the paint go, and then you want to go back over it with a new. You don't want to keep sitting and like doing multiple dips per letter. If your paint runs out, you kind of want to like finish it and then start again. Yeah, I wouldn't use that one.
No.
Yeah, so that's a prime example of leaving your cap open. I'm sure that's probably what it was. It happens. Sometimes if you don't store it in the right temperature, it'll do that too. It's a good thing that they're fairly cheap. So 50 cents isn't that bad if you pop them and leave it open.
So I store paint.
So it probably froze.
Yeah, it probably definitely froze. It was like last week. It was like a wind chill of like -30 at where we live. So it's probably definitely frozen. And when I moved all my stuff to the shed this summer, I honestly never even thought about winter. Like, honestly, that never even crossed my mind. I was just like, oh, we have this almost empty shed. We don't have really anything that we store, so I'm going to move all my craft supplies out there, and I'll work in the shed. And then winter came, and I didn't think about it, and I was like, oh, I can't work in the shed anymore. So I just left my stuff out there, and I'd bring it in, and I'd take it back out, and yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, paint, you kind of want to keep it room temperature. It can vary a little bit. It happens. It's fairly cheap paint. But definitely if you're like me, I have boxes of paint. I like to keep them in my my pantry. I have a pantry, so I like to keep them in that. It just kind of, it helps me stay a little more organized too. I use, actually, it's kind of funny, I use cat food can boxes. So they're little short boxes, and then I use the top and the bottom, and it kind of covers this. And then if you get lucky, you get a case that has a topper. I order online, so a lot of times they ship, and it has a topper, so it fits perfectly. I can fit about 30 of these bottles in it, and then it has a top and a bottom, and I don't have to worry about them falling out if somebody moves the boxes, them getting jarred. Or you can even store them in a container like this.
And I got this container at the dollar store, so and
yeah,
it actually
get fancy.
It fits a lot of paint. So
yeah. So if you can see, it is faded, and that's exactly the way I want it. So that if I don't really like how that letter is working, I could have dipped a little bit of water, wet it, and then waited for it to dry a little bit, and then retrace the way that I wanted it to look. So it looks kind of boring right now. I'm going to go over it, and I'm going to make it better, and then I'm going to start the next word. I always do wording from top to bottom, just so that way I can let this fully dry. I don't want to do anything more to this until it's 100% dry. There's letters harder to fix than anything else.
you're a lot faster at this one.
I get a little bit more practice because I do the hangers. I do most of the hangers at home because I cut them. So I do get a little bit more practice. She does a lot of the wreaths because I tried, I fail.
If we were making a wreath, I could kick her butt. But we're not, we're painting door hangers, and it's not something that I do every day. I can do it, obviously, but it's just not something I do every day. So
yeah, so I let her completely 100% do the race because I've tried it, and I just didn't even want to like post a picture of mine. I liked it well enough for me to use it, and I was okay with that. But it's not something that I'm confident in. I just don't have the patience for the ribbon. I just really I fail at that.
I love race.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, you can.
The other black paint.
Yeah, I have a big one.
And we see if that one's a little better. So she'll be right back. She has a jar of black paint that might be a little better texture for me to do letters. It's not quite as bad as this one. It is a little paint the letters. So there we go. So I did a sticker. I always make the of letter. Let me make sure you can see it. So the V right here, I want to make this first movement a little bit thicker and later on the coming off of it. Same for the L. This first blue, a little bit thicker, and then coming off. You get the point. It'll be a little bit thicker, and then it goes thinner. So thicker, thinner. I think it just makes it look a little. Don't worry, I get it just exactly like that. As long as it looks like letter G. Okay. It's just a little bit easier for me to paint. I know some people like to just do print. Yes.
I'll probably just print some vinyl, cut some vinyl, and put it on there.
That's a good idea too. If you have a circuit like she does, you could do the vinyl on it. If you don't want to, you can print off a really nice cursive letters. That's actually a really great idea. You can actually, if you don't feel confident doing letters, we can final words.
Do not have good.
It took me a lot of practice first doing this. And my letters were atrocious. I flashed it off, and I've tried again. For me, but and I learned that wood. I like doing my letters with wood. How much paint to put on the brush? It's just time.
Yeah. I get something really pretty, and then I go to write on it, and then I don't like it as much anymore. But I found that what I really like, and if you really, I found that if you really want to paint right on your whatever you're doing, like a door hanger or whatever, with paint instead of like the vinyl or whatever, I buy paint pens. So it's actually a pen, but it's got acrylic paint in it, and then you're basically writing with a pen.
No, this is worse.
Is it? Oh,
that's okay. We'll use this black, and I'll just mix a little bit of water. It's paint, it'll work. That one wasn't quite thin enough for me, but that's fine.
But yeah, I use a paint pen, and it works a lot better. It works a lot better for me because I don't have great paint control or whatever, handwrite stuff. So, but anyways, I wanted to show you the different size bottles. This one's an 8-ounce bottle. This one's a 2-ounce bottle. Like Chelsea was saying earlier, she buys these because they go not a lot faster, but it makes it easier to use them before they go bad.
Before they go bad, yeah. They don't dry out as quick.
Right.
Another reason that I mentioned earlier is I like to buy the little bottles just because I've noticed at Walmart you can get 4 of these 50 cents cheaper than one of these. So you get the same amount of paint 50 cents cheaper, but if you're like me, I go and I stock up and I buy a lot of paint. So if I can save a couple dollars when I go on paint, that's a couple more colors that I can get.
Especially when you use
paint. Yeah. So I actually have boxes full of paint. So I do try to consolidate my colors. One tip that I saw from another lady recently is in home paint parties, which if you're local to South Florida or northern Mishawaka, Indiana area, you can definitely book one of those. But what she does is she uses the little like barbecue sauce ketchup bottles that you can buy. They're like 88 cents. It has the top little flip. So she'll empty a bunch of these bottles into one of those, all for the same color. That works really well for her. So if you are a crafty person and you paint a lot, that's definitely a great idea. So this paint isn't quite the texture that I'd like, but we're going to make it work. I'm confident we can still make this look really pretty. And then I think that she brought her Cricut cutter. So we might actually have time to print off some letters today, not early tomorrow. And we'll post a picture. I'll post a picture of this one tonight when I'm all done. And then she'll post a picture once her vitals on there.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do one. That if I do mine writing hers, it'll show you the difference and like,
yeah. So as I mentioned, make this side a little bit darker and this one a little bit thinner. It didn't quite show up as well as I would have liked it, just because the paint's a little bit thicker, and that's one of the reasons why I like to use. I'm really picky about my black paint just because of the texture. So I might add a little bit more water so the other letters are a little more petite, a little more dainty.
a little like fluid,
Yeah.
So it looks like handwriting instead of.
So it kind of looks like old-timey ink, when they use the quails.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how I try to paint. So
calligraphy, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. I just like the way you have old-timey letters. Just the way the handwriting is, you see like the natural, like the darker impressions when the letter starts, and then it like lets off as the letter starts to end. That's kind of how I choose to paint. That's why I start darker and then lighter. Because naturally, if you're writing quickly, without effort, that's usually how it is. So I promise you we're not tooting. This is the chair. It's squeaking on me. I'm not sure if you could hear that or not. So I'm going to clean my brush now that my paint's a little bit thinner, just so that way I can get all the excess paint off. I don't like to keep a whole lot of paint on my brush when I'm doing letters, just because it does increase the chances of making a mistake. So the brush is clean, it's dry, and just a little bit. That's one of the reasons why I mound it in small amounts, because halfway through writing letters, that little mound will start to dry up and I don't want to use it anymore. So rather than waste a lot of paint, I just do a bunch of little mounds as I'm going, and then I can forget about the old ones.
And pay attention to what I'm doing. I almost stuck it in your glove.
Yeah, I don't think your heart would have liked that.
No. And then I would have been really mad.
So as you can see, I got the A done and I'm working into the L. So I like to do this first part just straight pretty much, and then I like to clean off my brush completely with L's and with E's, just because I like to make that second part of the letter a lot more neat and thinner. So I'm going to clean it off, and I'm going to start at the bottom down here, and I'm going to increase the pressure to match. So I'll show you here.
So if you're watching, will you say hi and let us know that you're watching? We'd love to know who's here.
There it goes. So I just put a little bit on here again, just a little. Now I'm going to start with this letter. Alright, so there we go. The L is done, so I don't know if you can really see all of it, but this second part right here is a little more petite than this, and that's what I'm aiming for. So I'm going to try to speed this up a little bit, just so that way we're not taking up all night on me painting letters, especially for those of you who are painting along and you're quick at it. We don't want to bore you. Hi, Nikki. Hi.
We're glad you caught us live too. We're really excited.
Where are you watching from, Nikki? I like that yellow. It was a little bit lighter.
This one wasn't open.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. I just pulled the plastic off.
Oh.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, no, this one. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I picked up the same one you put down.
So, hi, if you're watching, let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to know. And if you're just watching and you're wondering what we're doing, we're painting our January door hanger live. So we had a few people on our page. They bought a blank door hanger. Southern California.
Hi, Nikki.
That's awesome.
She's the one who did the clock.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's the one who did the clock. It took me a second, but it sounded familiar, and that's why I was looking at my phone. I was like, where do I know her from? Yes, you're the one who did the clock. Honestly, I loved it. I told my husband I can't wait to paint something like that. I don't know what it is, but I want to try it on something. I don't have a whole lot of furniture. I live in a small place, but eventually I'm going to try to do that paint technique.
So we are painting our January, she said, yeah. We're painting our January door hanger. It's Valentine's theme, obviously with the hearts, and so we're doing that live right now.
So I'm thinking there is going to be a back. It's going to be jelly beans. It's going to be on Easter, so that way it's 2 seasons. I'm thinking because it's taking us a little bit longer than usual, is we'll stop this video and then we'll take a quick break when we're done with this, and then we'll get back on and we'll do 2 videos for each side. We'll give this side a complete chance to try as well as a quick break, so that way we can flip it over and not ready to paint.
She's talking about me because I'm painting really, really slow. So
no, not at all. I'm a perfectionist, so I'm trying to take my time with the letters as much as possible. Because last thing I would want is to mess up live and have to show you how I have to fix my mistakes.
Yeah. Like I said, if we were making wreaths, I'd definitely be in the lead. So
yeah, mine would just. I don't even try it. Mine are just awful.
She would have given up by now. So
yeah, I would have handed her all the materials, all the ribbons, and said, "Please take care of this for me. Ribbon's not my specialty."
I love bows, so that's that. But so while we're painting and finishing this, I got here Chicago time. I got here at I think 2:00, right?
So if you're watching Eastern Standard Time, that was 1:45.
No, an hour.
It was 2:45 here.
Yeah, so it's 3:45.
Oh yes, I'm
Eastern
sorry.
time. Yeah. So I got here about 2:45, and then, anyways, we went to this. We thought it would be like a craft store, like a Michael's or a Hobby Lobby or something, but it's more of like a
fine art supply store. So they have a lot of like really neat stuff, but not really
stuff that we use.
Yeah, they had a lot of really, really nice paintbrushes, which made me kind of envious. I was like, I want them all. But they had a lot of canvases and then palettes for really fancy acrylics. Honestly, it was a really pretty store, but we were a little disappointed we weren't finding what we were looking for, so we
decided to walk to Michael's, which, okay, on my GPS, it said a mile, which a mile is not that far to walk.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
and
so
for those of you who don't know, we're not from Chicago, so we're actually here doing this paint party. So.
Yeah. So we decided, we could definitely walk that. So today in Chicago and where I live, it was about 50, 55, 58 degrees, somewhere in there. So it's super warm for January. Where I live, we actually broke a record for today. We set a new record. It was the warmest January 11th ever. So we both left here. She was wearing that hoodie. I was just wearing a sweater that I had on. And they were like, oh, this is fine. It'll be great. So we left, and then we decided, we're going to Michael's. So we started walking to Michael's. We get not even halfway to Michael's, and it starts pouring rain, just pouring on top of us, pouring. And so then we waited. We thought we would buy an umbrella, but umbrellas, because apparently since it's raining, they like jack up the prices on all umbrellas. So
I didn't really want to pay a lot for an umbrella that I'm not going to take home with me,
right?
Because I have a lot of umbrellas.
Yeah.
So we decided to wait it out, and
so we kept walking after it let up a little bit. And we get like maybe halfway there, and we're thinking we're never gonna make it to Michael's ever. I mean, it's getting darker. The temperature is dropping super fast because it's supposed to like freeze overnight tonight. So everything is like, it's just like the temperature is just bottoming out. Like we're freezing at this point. She's freezing. She's from Florida. She's definitely freezing.
Yes, it was cold. And it was really windy, obviously.
So we keep walking because we're like, at this point, GPS says you're almost there, so just keep going. So we kept going. We finally get to Michael's, and we didn't even, I mean, we love Michael's. We love Hobby Lobby. That's our, like, but we get to Michael's. We didn't even want to walk around Michael's. We were just done with walking. So we get what we needed. And we get outside, and we're like, we'll just call an Uber to take us back to our hotel. Because it's like $4 to Uber back to our hotel. Because we're not that far away. It's only like a mile walk. And Uber, the app doesn't work.
It didn't like us.
It didn't want to work at all. We tried, at least 10 times. The whole app didn't want to work. Finally, we get it to work, and a car comes and picks us up. And it was the nicest ride either one of us has ever taken. It was so warm and so dry because it was still raining.
I think we probably would have been okay with the rain had the temperature not plummeted.
Yeah.
It was 55 when we left, and when we got back, it felt like 30 something. So it was a substantial drop. We were not prepared for the cold. We're running behind because by the time we get back here, it's 6:30 Chicago time, which is 7:30 our time, and we're supposed to be doing a live at 8 o'clock our time. So we had 30 minutes. We're both starving to death. We're trying to cook food. We're trying to get ready for a live. We're just going to Michael's today was not a great idea. So we had that tomorrow we're gonna get Uber everywhere because it's gonna be crazy tomorrow. Like it's supposed to be a high of 17, maybe. Not with wind chill. And we're just gonna be tomorrow. Yeah. But that was a highlighter. Thought we were gonna die.
She thought she was gonna die. She was so cold, and so she didn't bring any. She has gloves, but we didn't bring our coats or anything. I had my gloves.
We honestly didn't expect to go that far. We thought we were going around, like a block away from the store and coming back.
Yeah. So I had my gloves, so I gave them to her, and then my hands were freezing, and it was just a mess. Always take a coat. That is the moral of that story.
So I moved on to the second word. And I just, as I did the first half, I mapped out the words in a lighter amount in case I messed up, and I wanted to go back and clean it off. It was a little easier. And then going back and then just working on finishing those letters. I'm going to do a hoop on the H as well. And then I'm going to go through and I'm going to just do my white highlights. And I don't think I need any black highlights for this one. So I'll probably just focus on white highlights around the letters and around the top and the other parts.
We're glad that somebody laughs at us. That's for sure, Nikki. We'll probably laugh about it in a couple weeks when we're not so upset that we were so cold. Like we were laughing earlier. I think it was wasn't it like a year ago when you fell in that mud at the.
Yes, so I was concerned because we were trying to avoid the puddles coming off the curbs. So I jokingly said I was going to fall into the puddle. And I remember, I think it was about a year and a half ago, we were at a fall festival in Elkhart. I came to visit her, and we were at a farm, and I saw my 2-year-old running towards mud puddle. It was just a massive mud puddle, and he doesn't like getting dirty. I don't know why he was running towards it, but all I could think of was the car ride home with a mud monster. And so I ran after him. I grabbed him, stopped him from falling into the puddle, but in the process, when I tried to stop, I didn't stop. I just kept going, and my whole back was covered in mud.
She just slid.
I just slid, and I looked like the mud monster, but I didn't have to listen to a 2-year-old crying because he was dirty. So I was okay with that. But it was quite funny because there was a lot of people there, and I was the only one that was dirty.
You just like completely slid right into that mud. She says, she told me today, she's like, it was like I was falling in slow motion. I was like, it really was, because if you would have saw it, it was the funniest thing. And then we were all trying so hard not to laugh at her.
I instantly, like, as soon as I realized that I was okay, because I was pregnant at the time, like, it was kind of scary, but I was perfectly okay. I didn't hurt anything. It was, like, not a hard landing. But as soon as I realized I was okay, I was hysterically laughing. It was quite funny.
I think that's just a natural instinct. Maybe it's just my natural. Maybe nobody else's, but my natural instinct when anybody falls or anything is just to laugh. So
I think a few people giggled, and I was okay with that. We went with a group of people. But I survived. I was okay. But it was definitely a funny story. I was quite embarrassed because I was the only one that was dirty. I mean, there were a couple thousand people there, and I was the only one that was dirty.
You were at a farm, though, so it was okay.
I mean, it wasn't that kind of farm.
But she did have a rental car that she had to get into. So that was kind of...
Yeah, I had to steal everybody's coats and, like, blanket off my seat. So by the time we got to the car, we went on a hayride, everything was pretty much dry.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as bad as me spilling a whole cup of coffee into a brand new Jeep rental.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to die, that I was going to have to pay for the whole car.
We went to a children's reading very early in the morning. Like, people line up for this sale. It happens twice a year. They line up. They start lining up. It opens, I think, at, what did it open, like 6, 7, or 8 or something?
I think it opens at like 8. We got there at 6.
Yeah, people start lining up at like 4 o'clock in the morning for this sale. So we get there at 6, and both of us are tired, so she stops and brings us coffee.
And I had the biggest issue with salad,
yeah.
And I went to grab it, and I must have not put the lid on it. So instead of actually like the cardboard holder, I actually just dumped it, and most of the coffee went into the cup holders and down the dash. Luckily, it didn't like dump in the seat. I probably would have died. But thankfully, the new the 2017 Jeep is pretty waterproof in the dash, like center console area. So I just I have children, so I had a lot of like paper towels and stuff already in the vehicle, so I soaked it all up. But it was definitely an oh crap moment.
I don't know what it is about rental cars. It's just, that you can't dirty a rental car, you can't do anything to it, and so naturally it just happens because my grandma.
It's Murphy's Law.
Yeah,
definitely.
My grandma rented a rental car when we drove to Florida this past summer, and my kids all had sippy cups because we were thinking, oh, it's a rental car, we need to keep it clean, but they're gonna be thirsty, so we'll buy them sippy cups. My kids are older; they're not like sippy cup age. But we put pop in her sippy cup, not thinking about the carbonation from the pop. And I'm backing out of this rest stop. We just filled her cup, and all of a sudden it was just an explosion of pop out of her sippy cup, out of the straw on the top of her sippy cup, all over the lining, the lining on the top of the rental car, all over the seats.
Her oldest, when we first bought my car, did that with a juice box, but he was going like this. So we actually had like purple juice, and I thought I was going to die. But it looked like it came off pretty easy. But I did Bounty Wishes, and I'm going to leave it like this, and I'm going to work on the highlights for the hearts, as well as the top. Right. And then Tricia's still working on a few more hearts. She is actually doing it a little more true to the photo. I didn't do quite as many hearts because I didn't really want to clutter mine. But she's doing a lot more hearts, and what she's going to actually do is she's going to cut out vinyl letters, just because she doesn't really like to paint letters, and she's going to attach it later. We'll do a photo, so that way we'll do side by side, so you can see. If you don't feel confident in your lettering, let us know. We can add on vinyl letters for a small price, a small amount, just so that way it'll look really pretty. I know not everybody's confident in their lettering. It does take quite a bit of practice. So I'm going to move on to white highlights. As I mentioned earlier in the video, if you're watching, going back and watching this video to paint your hangers that you purchased, your blank hangers, I did mention earlier that the original highlights, she kind of wanted this. I don't mind them being like a little bit messier, a little less uniform. When I do the white ones, however, I do like them to be a little more crisp because they're just supposed to be like really small highlights, especially around the letters. We're not going to do full highlights. We're just going to do like little highlights, little glimpses of white. So here's a white. And this one's a lot thinner than the black one, so it'll be a little easier. I am using the thinnest brush that I have. You probably can't see it. But it's thinner. It's about half the width that I used for the lettering and everything else. I'm just like to overtake the width. So I'm gonna do the white ones. I don't really like to make them perfect or uniform, just because we want to make it look more real. So here's the white highlights for hearts. You can see they're not really uniform. That's perfect. And then I'm going to now go to the top up here. Try to get it where you can see it. So I'm not going to do a full line, I'm just going to do short lines, just so that way it kind of looks more natural. And just so here's that. So they're not really all uniform, Just kind of put it on there. I try to do the white highlights as quick as possible, just so that way they have less chance to be uniform. I'm just waiting for the black letters to dry a little bit, and then I'll finish the letters. Did you need this?
No. I don't have any orange. That's what I'm saying.
So this one's pretty much done. I'm just going to do those letters, and then when I send them out to you, I make sure that the holes are already drilled up here, and then I include a piece of wire. So when you're all done painting, you just take a little pair of pliers and you just twist it on here. Or you can even use string. I have some like burlap type string that I like to use sometimes, or ribbon if you can keep that through there. You don't have to use the wire that I include. I just include it because I do want you to have something to hang it with. But I will take this home. I did run out of time on the way here, so I will take this home and I will drill some more holes in it for mine. Okay, so what I think we'll do is I'm going to do the top letters, and then I'm going to start doing the bottom letters, and then we're going to get off of here, take a quick break while she finishes up hers and lets it dry, and we let ours dry, and then we're going to flip it, and then we'll probably be back by 9:30. No, I'm sorry. Is that Eastern time?
That on your laptop is
Yes.
Eastern.
Okay. So we'll probably be back by 10:30 or 11 to do the back side, which will be a mason jar jelly bean. If you're not able to join us for that, we totally understand it's getting late. Our video can always be viewed on our page. But the back is basically going to look similar to this. It's going to have the same top. It's going to have this. And then the swirls, except there's going to be jelly beans. I'll probably do a little more jelly beans because they're a little smaller. And then I will be doing, I haven't decided what I'll write on here. So if you want to join me and let me know what you think I should write, let us know. And I'll definitely write that. All right. So let me get these letters done. So in case you're watching this video, I can complete this with you guys. And then we'll take our short break. When I do the letters, the highlights for the letters, I don't like to get quite as much paint on it because I don't want thick highlights. I don't like to do too many, focus too much on one letter. I do try to make this one as quick as possible. Alright, so the Valentine's is all done. And I promise it'll look a little better when you do go back and look at the picture. So once it dries and it's a little better camera. So I'm going to quickly do the next word. Okay. So that's all done. So I'm going to go closer so you can see it. It doesn't have to be perfect, the letters, the highlights on it. As long as you have a little bit of highlight on each letter, just to kind of bring a little more depth into it. So this is mine. I'm going to give a couple more little touches up, and then I will post the video a little bit later. We will be back live within the next hour, and we will continue to the back side. Thank you guys for watching and joining